In the mysterious atmosphere of Rahim Yarkhan, where ancient trees and desolate paths still whisper tales of the past, lived three inseparable friends, Haider, Awais, and Shamir. Their bond was legendary in the neighborhood. Haider was the intelligent and courageous one. Awais was emotional and fiercely loyal, while Shamir was the gentle, soft-spoken soul of the group. But over the past few weeks, Shamir had changed. Dark circles hollowed out his eyes, his skin turned a deathly pale, and he remained lost in a haunting trance. The most unsettling part was that every night, precisely at midnight, he would walk out of his house in a state of somnambulism, as if pulled by an invisible string, only to return just before the morning call to prayer. Shamir was possessed by a sinister witch known as Sia Nak Hun, the Black, Nailed One. She resided in the city's oldest, most overgrown cemetery. She had chosen Shamir because she needed to harvest the purity of his soul to rejuvenate her own rotting immortality. Every night she summoned him to the heart of the graves, sitting him amidst the dead to feast on his spiritual energy. One night, Haider and Awais decided they could no longer watch their friend wither away. They resolved to follow him. As the clock struck midnight, Shamir rose like a macabre puppet. His gait was unnatural, stiff, and jerky. He walked straight toward the desolate graveyard, a place where people feared to tread even in broad daylight. Haider and Awais followed stealthily. As they reached the rusted iron gates of the cemetery, a chill swept through the air. A cold so unnatural, it seemed to freeze the very marrow in their bones. "Haider, I have a bad feeling about this," Awais whispered, his voice trembling. "Don't lose heart, Awais. Today, we bring Shamir back." Haider replied firmly, though his own heart was hammering against his ribs. In the center of the graveyard stood an ancient, gnarled banyan tree. There, they witnessed a sight that would haunt their dreams forever. Shamir was sitting cross-legged on a crumbling grave. Standing before him was a woman of nightmare proportions. Her hair reached the dirt, her nails were long, black, and hooked like talons, and her eyes burned with the ferocity of a stoked furnace. The witch was chanting foul incantations into Shamir's ear, and a faint blue light was being pulled from his chest, vanishing into the witch's withered body. "Stop!" Haider roared, stepping into the clearing. The witch snapped her head around, a full 180-degree turn, to face them. A predatory grin stretched across her distorted face. "Two more offerings. Tonight's feast shall be grand." With a wave of her clawed hands, the very earth of the graveyard began to churn. Old bones and decayed remains began to claw their way out of the soil. Haider quickly pulled an ancient book and a flask of holy water from his bag, items he had obtained from a spiritual mentor. "Awais, grab Shamir and get out of here. I'll hold her back," Haider yelled. Awais lunged toward Shamir. The witch tried to intercept him, but Haider splashed the holy water toward her. As the droplets hit her skin, black smoke hissed upward, and she let out a shriek that sounded like 1,000 shards of glass breaking at once. "You cannot save him," the witch screamed. Awais grabbed Shamir's hand, but his friend's skin felt like ice. "Shamir, wake up, it's us." Awais shook him violently. Shamir's eyes snapped open, but they weren't his eyes. The witch had seized his consciousness. In a sudden burst of strength, Shamir grabbed Awais by the throat, pinning him down. Haider saw the situation spiraling out of control. He began reciting a powerful prayer and slammed his hand onto the earth. A wave of golden light rippled across the graveyard, momentarily paralyzing the undead hands reaching from the graves. "Shamir, remember who you are. Remember our brotherhood." Haider's voice boomed with spiritual authority. Awais, struggling for breath, looked into Shamir's possessed eyes and choked out, "Shamir, remember our promise. We said we'd always stay together. Don't let this monster win." Inside Shamir, a conflict erupted. His grip on Awais's throat loosened. The witch began to wither. Her power source, Shamir's fear, was being replaced by love and memories. Seizing the moment, Haider read the final verses from his book. A massive shockwave erupted, and the witch disintegrated into a pile of foul, smelling black ash. Her final, mocking laughter echoed through the trees before fading into a heavy silence. Shamir collapsed to the ground. Haider and Awais rushed to support him. His face was no longer pale. It was soft and peaceful once more. "Hader, Awise, what are you doing here?" Shamir asked in a weak, confused whisper. "We're here because we never leave a brother behind," Hader said, smiling despite his exhaustion. The three of them leaned on each other as they limped out of the graveyard. The first rays of dawn were breaking over the horizon. The lights of Sheikh Zayed Hospital flickered in the distance, but today, they didn't look like warning beacons, they looked like the promise of a new day. Shamir gripped his friend's hands tightly. He realized that the power of true friendship was a shield that no witch, no demon, and no darkness could ever truly pierce.